Alright, now this is another how-to. You can see this piece of fabric I have here on the floor because I need lots of space to do this. This is, it's like a suede cloth. It is fabric, it's machine washable, but it's like a suede. It's an excellent color for using in the house. And right down the hallway here, turn on light, there we go. This is quilt batting, okay? For all of you who don't sew, you get this at the fabric store. Okay, now this is just a piece I had laying in there. It's very thin, maybe a quarter, half-inch thick, something like that. But what I'm making is like this right here. Let me turn the camera. What is going to get crazy now because I turned the camera? Alright, you see these? This is one that I already created. Alright. It's very simple. It's just like kind of like a stuffed snake. It's very simple to make. So I did just plain stitching, or zigzag stitching on the, come on camera, focus, on the outside. It's a raw edge. I don't care because what I'm doing with this, and I'm making several, I'm going to lay these around the window sills, around the door sills, and I'm also using them to put around this project I worked on, and I'll show you that right now, and this is why I'm making these. We're not looking at the lake, although it's beautiful to have that right outside my patio. What we're looking at is this wood frame here. Okay, now that is, it's pine, I'm pretty sure, but it's, oh, maybe, it's about 3/4 inch thick and about maybe 1.5 2 inches wide, something like that. But anyway, in the winter time, you have a lot of heat escaping, especially through the patio door, because it's so big. So what I did, I went to, drop a name here, Home Depot, and I bought this wood. It's kind of hard to film, but you see there is a kind of a gap up here in the top, and that's because the plastic is stretched so tight on there because it's that window insulation kit. I didn't want to stick it directly on the patio door. I wanted to have a buffer between the door and the plastic surface. So I went to Home Depot. That's where I got the window plastic kit. I'll show you that here. The kit. A little ravaged because I tore through it. Anyway, it comes with the plastic, and it has the two-sided sticky tape right there. And that's what you use. I just don't like to put it right on the windowsill because I don't want that sticky tape there in the spring when I take it down. So I bought, I bought 5 pieces of this wood, and these were like a little over $1 each piece. So the cost was minimal, extremely minimal. I think the patio set, the plastic, it's big enough for the patio door, I think I paid like $7. So, anyway, I created the frame that sets right inside the patio door, like that. Alright, but the plastic is pulling it down up here. That's why it's bowing. You see right there? You can see that gap. That's why I'm making those quilted snake-looking things in there. They're going to go around the edge of this to insulate around the edges. Alright, so, and since just putting this up, I already noticed that the room is warmer because there was so much cold air coming off of that glass. So now I'm keeping it contained in there, but once I put those snake-looking things that I'm making on the sewing machine in there, fills that gap in all the way around. Alright, now, and like you're talking, oh, maybe $5 for fabric, a couple bucks for quilt batting to do those insulator things on the edges. I know they make that foam stuff that you peel off and stick on here, but I got some gap up there because of that plastic pulling so hard, and I've got quite a bit of space to fill there, so that's why I'm making those quilted snake things. And those will also go around the front door. You can put them under the front door. You can put them in the window sills in like the bedroom and whatever, just as a little buffer against a little more cold. But anyway, I created the frame. Now the two-sided sticky tape is on this all the way across here, and then it's all the way across up there, and then all the way across down there. All right, so it's just an extra buffer against cold air. And for the investment, you're talking what? Total, including your time, maybe 20 bucks. Because this little thing here, frame, took me no time whatsoever to make. I mean, I even cut it with a hand saw. I didn't even have a power saw, so like I said, if I can do it, anybody can do it. So that's up. And then, of course, once you put that plastic on, you want to keep it stretched as tight as you can. And then you go over it with a blow dryer, and that causes the plastic to contract and stretch to where it's virtually invisible. So you really, aside from my frame being there, you can't even see it. But the good thing is, when summer gets here, I'll just take this out of the patio, put it against a wall somewhere in a storage room or spare bedroom, whatever, and it's ready to go for the next winter. So, and it's already constructed. And then there was a tear. See right here? You see it? That's how crystal clear it is. There's a tear right there. All right. I put clear packing tape on this. There's another tear right there and one right there. It's where the blow dryer got a little too close and actually melted it. But I used clear packing tape just to patch it. All right, and there it is. It's awesome. And if it will even decrease the energy bill for heating by, it's $10 in a month. It's paid for itself in 2 months. So you got, what, 4 or 5 months where you're running the furnace? You can do this on every window in your house. Just make these. I prefer to make the frames. Now you can put the plastic right on the windowsill, but I mean, then you got to clean that sticky tape off in the spring, and I don't want to deal with that. But if you make the frames like this and set them in your windows, just measure carefully inside the window frame, over there, inside, well, here it's a door frame, patio door frame. But you want to measure side to side, top to bottom. But be careful down here in these corners, down there and down there. You can see right there where I'm pointing, there is molding. So you got to account for that. Please be sure that you measure from right there on the carpet, from that molding piece to the edge of that molding piece. Okay? You don't want to measure from the wall to the wall in the sill, because you got to account for that molding. Okay? So keep that in mind, and be sure that there's no molding in the top either on your window or door that you're working on. All right? Because you got to account for that in your measuring. And then also, for you layman's out there that are trying to maybe try this, be sure that you account for the thickness of the wood. Measure the thickness of the wood that you're using down the side. You got to subtract that from the length of this. So you got to account for that molding, you got to account for the thickness of the wood, and then you cut these cross poles. That one down there, and that one up there. But see, once you stretch this plastic like that, it does draw the wood down, because the plastic is so taut when you use the blow dryer to get it to stretch tight, because you want it virtually invisible. So you still have the view, everything like that, but you've got a layer of insulation. Alright, so anyway, that's my latest how-to. And then I'll put that, one of those quilt things up there so you can see that real quick. It's kind of hard to see, but I'm trying to get the camera to focus just on that. There you go. Now you can see I put the that quilt batting and fabric, the little snake-looking thing that I made, as a filler. Now you see that my wood on here, of course, is pine, and there we go, closer. I used a suede cloth fabric that is as close to the color of the wood, and I just happen to have that piece lying in here. So that will seal there. And then, of course, because it is recessed back inside, the blinds still close like they're supposed to. Alright, now that corner down there, it's caught right now a bit. I'm putting in another piece of this quilting up there to seal all that off, so it's a tighter air seal. Alright, so anyway, that's how to create a frame for the window plastic, and how to make those like snake looking things that fill in up there just to insulate. Like I said, you can do this in every window in your house. Create these frames, get the plastic kit. I believe the kit that I just showed you a moment ago was for windows. I've got one left over, I haven't used it yet. But the frame, you keep it, use it year after year after year. Even if the plastic tears, you still got the frame. You can buy another box of plastic next year and do the plastic stretching over it again. The whole project here, this took me sum total probably about 2 hours, including the sewing. Once you get all the things you need 5 pieces of wood. Do your measuring, but you need 5 pieces of wood. You need the plastic, the window, and a blow dryer. And you might want to pick up your fabric while you're out. Just, I don't know, I know not all of you have sewing machines, but you can even get just a pack of quilt batting. If you don't know how to sew, don't worry about it. You can get the quilt batting and just stuff it in there. And then come spring, when you're taking all this down, save your quilt batting in a Ziploc bag, and save your frame for the window or the door. And then the following winter, put it all back up again. Insulate your house. Anyway, that's it. Long enough. If I can do it, anybody can. Bye.